Welcome to Left Back FPL.
Way! Hello, listeners. Welcome to Left Back FPL Gameweek 8. Gameweek 8. Yeah, you might have recognised a slightly different accent coming from Jimmy Ferguson there, and that's because it wasn't actually him. It was our good old Captain Russ.
There you go. I was almost fooled then.
Almost filled. Wow, I know.
Should I just put a James voice on all episodes so we feel really at home?
It depends, mate. Do you want to get as few points as he did this week and be in the sort of spot that he is in the table? If you do, then keep on doing that. But if you want to join the big boys, maybe just stick to being yourself.
Not really, mate. But at least the episode will be a bit shorter.
That's it, listeners. You may have noticed Jimmy Ferguson unfortunately couldn't make it with us tonight. It is his anniversary, his 1 year married. This time last year we were in South Africa with Jasper celebrating his wedding. So congratulations to him. But you did hear who we are here with. It's Captain Russ. And Neil Van Dijk.
Hey.
Yeah, so a reduced squad this week. It's a bit
injuries.
And you know, we're actually kind of lucky. It is all genuine physical injuries. It's not been anyone failing any of our weekly COVID tests that we're having before we film this. So
I think Jimmy's just hiding as well. He's got his tail between his legs and like just hiding in some dark corner.
Yeah, a bit of a shocker, right? We'll get to that exactly. Yeah. So listeners, thanks for joining us. We're going to start just a quick rundown of our league, let you know where we picked up points, where we found value this week. Before we follow down into the Left Back FPL League and we discuss a few of you guys where you guys have hit the heights or hit lower lows this week. We will then do the flop and the clop before we stop for a quick break. Following that, we will have a rambling from the dugout. We've got a great one coming up this week before we then just start to review all the games for next week and hit you up with some captain contenders and who our picks are there as well. So you may only have the three of us, but we promise you that it's going to be fun-packed and probably better than without all of them here. So we'll live up to that. Yeah, so
of the crop.
So let's start with our league and let's go in a bit of a strange order. Let's start by points scored this week, and right up the top there we've got top of the clops with 65 points. The average across the universe being 52 points, so a good solid 20% above that. Neil, walk us through what you did.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I didn't make any transfers last week and had a less than memorable game week last week. So saved up the two transfers, and I think like a lot of people got Rodriguez out, and I think like quite a few people got Pulisic in. I genuinely thought, you know what, he's been looking good, he's been looking sharp, and definitely an opportunity for him to score some goals. And unfortunately, just, you know, what did he do? He slipped. I didn't even see what he did. He kind of slipped or did his hamstring in during the warm-up and naturally
it looked like
didn't
nothing,
play.
to be honest. I saw the video. It was a slip, but he fell over, got back up again. And
I'm sure he was crying when he limped off.
Sure
And so that's it. I got burnt, but I mean, you know, I guess I made the change in the way where I got rid of Sice because fortunately I had a mate who's a Wolves fan. And
who gave you that info?
Little bit of insider info from
you. Didn't tell any of us though, did you? Who had Sice? So no, you kept that under your belt.
I only found out on the just before the game line, deadline.
Yeah.
What can I do, mate? My phone was broke. So I obviously heard he was going to.
Pause there. You got it fixed fast.
Indeed. It's just he was going to be on the bench, so I thought, all right, you know what, let's just gamble with Kilman. And also I just needed to save a bit of cash just to get Pulisic in as well, but knowing that I could have money in the bank if I wanted to then get Rodriguez back in as well. And, you know, Kilman paid off, got 6 points. Pulisic obviously didn't.
They could score for Wolves, right? They
it was a good game,
Their purple patch.
Another clean sheet for them. So good result for them. I think what Neto got on the score sheet for them, and I think their new boy did as well. Yeah, I mean, obviously, again, Chelsea looking revitalised with Chilwell playing well again. I think Edison's just come in and made a world of a difference. Having a solid keeper really settles the defence sometimes, and that with a bit of experience in Thiago is starting to kind of see the fruits of that. So yeah, clean sheet for them, and I think, to be honest, it could have been a different game week really had Grealish not performed. I mean, I was just kind of, I remember messaging you lads saying, "Is it time to get him out?" And the next thing I know, I checked the score and it was just like, "Well, the hell, he's already scored 15 points."
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously I spoke too soon and just got a little faith in the lad who can't pull his socks up, and clearly he did.
You should get rid of him though.
It's a bit of a weird
funny one. He decided to start picking up points when they were already 4-0 down.
Yeah, it's just giving the kick up the arse he needed. So he got me well in points. I went against the grain, in our league and Captain Salah because I did think he'd pick up something. And fortunately, he picked up his penalty conversion. Exactly. Which I'm sure many might debate, but so I was watching it in the pub with Pellez, who's your beloved West Ham. He thought it was a penalty as well, so we'll go with that. And Kane and Calvert-Lewin, both got on the score sheet. And so decent points. Unfortunately, I left Lamperty on the bench because I thought they were in for a drubbing by Spurs. So I thought he's definitely not going to get a cleanie. But lo and behold, he goes and
mate, he's amazing though, isn't he? Like I've just first time I've actually seen him play for 90 minutes, and he reminded me of a even smaller version of Sterling. The way the speed and the way he flings his arms everywhere in the air. It was almost kind of Sterling-esque.
So he did actually come off after 78 minutes. So I don't know where you saw the extra 12 minutes of extracurricular activity. What you and him got up to?
I made a cup of tea and digested.
No, I don't mean to nitpick. I thought the same. I actually said that after 15 minutes into the game. I thought that Lamptey's a good player. I thought I could do getting him in my team, and then he pops up and picks up the points for NVD, but not really because he's on your bench.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I played him last game and he got a massive haul of 1 point. And so I thought, you know what, actually, I'll put him on the bench and presume at least he'll get the 2 points, rather than kind of anything against him, because I thought Spurs would do the business, but clearly the magical two were misfiring. But I guess good for you, good to see for you, Captain, that, Bale came on and scored a goal.
NVD, you got 65 points for the week, giving you a total of 391. You're in 6th place in the league. But just coming back to our weekly scores, that was just followed right behind by Captain himself, who got 63.
Yeah, not a bad week for me. Not amazing, but not far behind Jimmy Fergs, which is always a good sign. I think I'm 5 points behind him. So onwards and upwards, as they say. And I did do a transfer. I got Chilwell in, and I can't remember who I got out now. I think
Digne, right?
Digne, yeah, because he got red carded, so I ended up just getting rid of him. I needed a decent defense, or someone that was possibly guaranteed maybe a clean sheet. And I think Chilwell, being one of those defenders that are always kind of up the wing and possible assists there, I had to, take that chance, and Chilwell seemed to be the best option for me, and he got 6 points. So that worked. But yeah, I mean, not bad. That was the only change I did with my team, and I captained Kane, and he got obviously the penalty. Was close to getting another one during the game, but it was either going to be Kane or Son that I was going to captain. So I'm glad I picked the right one for a change. And so not a bad result. I'm still not completely happy with my team. There's still a lot of twats I need to get rid of.
So you've actually, looking at it, you've actually got quite a lot of overlap with NVD here. You've got Martinez and goals, both of you. You've got Salah, Grealish, Son, you both got DCL and you both got Kane up there. So is that just like a state of this league? It's really difficult to differentiate yourself when you're kind
I think we've always been like that, me and NVD. I mean, we've always been like great minds think alike, you know. We've always been pretty close. Like last season, it was like who was going to get third, who was going to get third. So it was only a matter of points. So, I mean, I don't tend to look at other teams. I think, but I didn't know that. Maybe I need to consider a differential. I mean, I know that you know, there's a potential possibility that Ings might be injured. I don't know how the scans came out today and what the result was, but I think it was a knee injury. So that might be a potential transfer this week. Could mean me juggling my team around a bit, but I don't think I want to do it too much because, you know, it's promising. It's, as I said, that you know, I think it's just tweaking a little bit, and I don't want to make those cheap mistakes that I did at Christmas where I ended up like just changing the whole 11 and regretting it afterwards. So I think, you know, I'm going to stick with my team. Maybe like I'll probably do a transfer this week, but things are looking pretty rosy.
So the good news for fantasy fans out there is that the scan did come back and reveal that there was no serious injury to his knee. So it's looking just likely to be a knock, maybe a couple of weeks out, but nothing more longer term serious than that. So good for fantasy fans. Also good for you English people, you know, getting him back, but probably not before the internationals. Coming to my team then this week, you know, I've been riding my luck for the last couple of weeks. I actually still managed to end up in second place overall. I'll just take that credit, but only 44 points this week. That's 8 behind the average of 52. It's a bit disappointing. To be honest, it's as I said, it's been riding my luck, and I think it's about time I use my wild card. So I think we're going to see that coming up. I think I've just kind of ended up in this spot where, unluckily, a lot of injuries and suspensions, and I'm out there. Schmeichel in goals. I'm disappointed he didn't pick up the clean sheet today. He had to let in one, right? Leicester have been very leaky this year, and although they scored 4, it's a bit needless letting in one. Then at the back, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think we're going to come to that in the later half of the show, but is there still value in the Liverpool defenders? Or is that just money that could be better used elsewhere? There's less clean sheets this year. And then had Saiz, who obviously got injured, and this was a real bummer for me. And, you know, it just shows importance to have some depth in your squad. Saiz didn't play. No one on my bench played as well. Diop doesn't get a game. Digny out injured. Digny suspended. Ndidi out injured. I just kind of left them, refusing to take that 4-point hit week over week and just leaving them on my bench. And it's not really paid off for me there. Got a big fat 0 for that position this week. Then Doherty in defence as well. Is there any value in Spurs' defence, or again, are they also too leaky?
It's always been like that, though. Even last season, like you're taking a huge risk having a Spurs defender. I think. I mean, they've only had 1 clean sheet this season, but and I'm not sure about Doherty.
Yeah, to be honest, I expected Doherty to be more attacking, right? Last year, and we normally see him getting on the score sheet and some assists, and this year he's just not been done it. He's not been doing it. Is that maybe instructions? He's been in, you know, he's just been sitting back. I don't know. He'll probably come on my team, to be perfectly honest, with this wild card. My midfield picked up a few solid points. Salah, obviously, in there. I think it's 8 points. And then Son, 4 points as my captain. You know, that's 2 points each. That's really a mistake, I think.
So are you, I think, like, seems you've kind of said you might. I think you should commit now and tell us.
I'm going to commit, and to be honest, and you know where I found a lot of value this year is in Everton and Wolves, right? And they've both been getting some injuries, or, you know, seen some of the big players sit out. So that's difficult. But I think both these teams have a lot of value. This week, though, I did transfer out Traore and brought in Zaha. I thought that was a good move after watching Zaha the week before. I thought he was on fire, but all he did this week was pick up a yellow card. So
he was lucky he didn't get a red, to be quite honest, as well. I'm sure a lot of FPL managers were thinking the same thing that had Zaha.
He has got some favourable fixtures coming up, though. So, I mean, I won't potentially rush to get him out. I mean, he's got Leeds, Burnley, Newcastle, West Brom. Sure, there are no easy games in this league this year, but, you know, he's kind of done well against the likes of, you know, like Fulham and your Brighton. So could be one to kind of just leave in your team potentially.
That was exactly my thoughts. MVD, exactly my thoughts. And then finally getting some points, and I don't know why he's in my team, but Mitrovic. He's definitely coming out for a striker. And the first, he's in game week 2, he got 12 points, but since then he's really done nothing. Never picking up more than 2, but he got 2 assists this week, so 8 points in total. It's just still not good enough for a striker, but I think that's more a fact of him playing for Fulham than him himself.
I'm sure Vieira will be gutted to hear that.
Oh, Vieira, mate, chin up, you'll be all right. So that wraps up my team for the week, and I guess just to update you on our standings in the NYC Brit Street Boys League. At top, man of the match stays up there with 429 points. It's Ricky's mate from the pub. We didn't see him at the pub on Saturday, did we, MVD?
No, we didn't. We were all looking for him, but still elusive.
He wasn't there. Then myself on 407, just ahead of Ricky, the pork pies, on 405. So I know it's your birthday, mate, but unlucky. You're not getting on top of me yet. And you know, I was scared yesterday evening. I was down in 5th, so it really shows how close the league is. But I'm happy to get back up there.
Well, it's his birthday, you know, so like maybe you let him get on top of you at least for his birthday.
What a present.
Then we've got Matty Lawless. We had him on the show last week as a special guest. We've been talking about how since using his wild card, he'd really turned it around. Well, not using his wild card, but taking the big point hit, and he got another 61 points. So he's joined with Vieira as well, who's also been on a rich vein of form. So both of them there. Before we come to you, NVD, 6th place. You disappointed? You going to rise up from that?
I am disappointed, yeah. I am. Stupid moves, really. I thought I could have done a little bit better that game week and just pushed myself into the 400s, and then I think it would have been close between 2nd and 6th. But I'm not too far off, so I'll take that, but could be better.
Yeah, you're only 16 points behind 2nd place, so pretty close. And a pretty substantial gap of about 27 points to you and Jimmy Ferg. He's been sticking with the Man United players, and that's not been paying off. 32 points this week. Whoosh. Shame on him. Shame indeed. And then Captain Russ bringing up the rear. I know we said you had a good week this week, but you really need to sort it out, right?
Yeah. Enough said, really.
Yeah.
Just give me a couple of weeks. I'll be there. It takes a while.
So that's how we all stand in our local league, but for our fans out there as well, there's a chance to get involved and see how you compare to us. And if you want to join our league, go on the app, go on the website, type in that code 06S7S8. And guys, we've got a new leader in the league this week.
We do. Farmers FC, I do believe. I think you met him in a bar at the weekend.
This was a new recruit, yeah. I saw some guy sitting checking his fantasy team, showing off to his mate. I went over and I said to him, "Hi, what's this?" And no wonder he got bloody 87 points this week. Good effort from the guy, Alex.
87 points, wow.
Yeah, he's got 482 in total. I mean, it's impressive.
Just get him on the show.
Indeed. Top 13,000. So fair play to you, FC Farmers.
Yeah, well done, that man. And you've overtaken the guy who's been top for the last couple of weeks, Joe Watson, who did score a solid 70 points, and he's on 458 now, but unlucky, mate.
We're going to do the name and shame.
The name and the shame, your favourite bit, right? Are we going to try and find someone that's worse than Captain Russ?
Well, I mean, if we have to do the shame in terms of who's at the bottom, then Davey Hibbert of Salad Cream. I know you've only played a couple of game weeks. You're still unfortunately at the bottom. But if we have to go through the game week total, then it's unfortunately our beloved host Jimmy Ferguson with a mountain of 32 points. Now, to be fair, he is in good company with Bad Decisions United. He must be a United fan as well, Chris Haswell. So unfortunately, just don't listen to our beloved host. Do better. So unfortunately, there are the shames, but that's the podcast league. I don't know. Captain Russ, you want to tell us about the left-back FPL poddy team?
Yeah.
Our Hammers fan, Pellers, was in charge this week. What did he do? Or didn't do?
I think he f***ed it up again. To be quite honest. Like he was like obviously top of our league last season, so he had the privilege of picking the first 11, and it wasn't a great start. I think so we had to like kind of make amends after that. So basically, he f***ed it up then, and then he gets another bash, and he f***ed it up again. So he did two transfers. He did two transfers. He got Saez in, and obviously he didn't play, so he got 0 points for that. And NVD, who else did he get?
He got Bamford in, who obviously didn't kind of score as much as he did last week, and got 2 points.
So he went for the glory hunt. He went glory hunting from. Okay.
He did, and he took the points hit as well.
So how many points did we get this week then for our team?
So unfortunately, Pellas, he kind of got us a -2 in terms of transfers, and then the total was 47. So yeah, after the 4 point hit, so obviously kind of below the average, not the worst, but not the best.
Captain Son as well, I do believe. So that didn't do us any favours either.
There you go. He's just out to sabotage the
but
team.
He did have Bellerin in the team, so I think he was a high scorer with 12, which isn't bad. But definitely below par with the team. So who's up next week?
The pleasure falls to me.
I
was second last year. It rotates back around to this. So guys, if you've got any suggestions for me, any of our listeners, anyone you think we should get in, hit us up on Twitter. That's at leftbackfpl. Or you can get us on Reddit as well. NVD, what's those instructions?
Yeah, I mean, same at leftbackfpl.
And
you'll find us. There you go. Simple.
Yeah. Hit us up on those. Let us know who you think I should get in the team, and maybe I'll listen to you, or I'll probably just ignore you. But we'll see about that.
So I believe is it time for one flop and one clop?
It is, and we'll come to the flop in a minute. But let's start with the clop of the week. So to be honest, it was a game week of you could pick up decent points, and the average score was pretty high, but there was no sort of standout, no hat tricks, nothing like that coming out there. And the clop of this week, I'm actually going to give to a team who, for fantasy players, might have not picked up the most points, but they went to Old Trafford and won for the first time in 14 years. Arsenal actually looked pretty decent, I thought, when I watched the game. I thought they were pretty organised, went pretty attacking, and for them to hold on, Aubameyang get the penalty and pick that up, I think Arsenal, you're going to be rewarded with clop of the week.
There you go. I mean, yeah, they did play well. It is a little bit. I mean, yeah, they played well. I think not a United on fire, which you just don't get. I mean, Solskjaer just pulls off these kind of tactical, awesome moves in Europe and gets a great result. And I know Rashford did the business, and then in the league, it's just capitulated and no one turned up, and Pogba couldn't even be. He was out of breath jogging back in order to cause the penalty. Absolutely terrible. So I'm sure Jimmy Ferg was tearing his hair out over that. The one thing though I must say in our gracious host's favour is that he has been harping on about and singing Bellerin's praises and saying how he's kind of a worthwhile player fantasy wise. And to be fair, we just kind of mentioned he did get the 12 points. So I mean,
he was in the team of the week.
He was, there you go, and he was in our poddy team. And yeah, I mean, interesting if they stop keeping clean sheets. He definitely is a good player. So good call out. But shame for United.
So yeah, we'll give that to Arsenal. A bit of good news for those guys. And the flop of the week. This one, the flop of the week. I'm sorry, mate, but I hope you don't have a flop on tonight because it is your wedding anniversary. So I don't think that's going to go down too well either. But Jimmy Ferg, mate, you really needed to pull out of the bag. You've been suffering down there in a whole 32 points. It's kind of a joke. Captain Russ is right on your heels, right behind you. And mate, I better watch out if I was you. But congratulations again on your wedding anniversary. And we hope to see you back next week if you've not been kicked out of the league by then. So we'll see about that.
Oh, well, there's always another game week.
There's always another game week, and I think that's us wrapped up the first half of the show, everyone. But I think in the second half we're going to come to that next game week. Game week 8 coming up, a few juicy fixtures coming in there. We're going to review each of the games in there, give you our captain contenders, and we've also got a cracking rambling from the dugout coming in as well. So we'll be back after this short break, and we'll see you then.
Hey.
Welcome to the second half of Left Back FPL.
Hey.
We're back.
We are indeed. Welcome back, listeners. I hope you got a nice cup of tea, a nice cold beer, maybe a glass of water, some oranges, maybe even some Lucozade. I don't know what else the cool kids drink these days. Maybe it's not that. But you made it back to part 2. We've got a lot of content coming up for you here. We've got a rambling from the dugout. One of our fans on Twitter has been in touch. He's got a great question for you today, and we've got a very special man to deliver that. After that, we'll then get into a review of the games coming up this week, and then you'll hear who we're going to pick as our captain contenders and where we see the value for you. So hopefully this adds value to you and helps you plan your team this week. Oh, that's a very melodic ringtone.
Wow.
The hotline is going, guys. Let's see who this is.
Rambolino.
Hello? Hello? Is that
who's this?
This is P. Pogba.
Pogba, mate.
Hello? Bonjour. Are you?
Wow.
Pogba, it sounds like you're struggling to breathe a bit, Pogba.
I'm still exhausted from the running down the pitch to try and save the ball from going in the net, and but unfortunately, I was just tired of playing football for 90 minutes. I'd rather be sitting on the sub bench, to be honest.
It's a hard game these days, right? You actually have to run up the pitch.
Oh, oui.
How's your fantasy team going, Paul?
Well, I don't know. I haven't got myself in my fantasy team because I can't be bothered to do it.
It's the right decision there, Paul.
So anyway, the question I have is, I'm getting so tired. Is there any value in the Liverpool defense? Because time they're not really. Last season there were like magical. Now they are 0. 1, 2. Is there any value in keeping the Liverpool defenders?
I love it. That's a great question. I mean, extremely elaborately delivered by Mr. Pogba, but
I guess you should do that, right? I think definitely Trent and Robertson are 2 of the highest selected defenders out there, 32% and 19%, but they're also some of the most expensive, 7.4 and 7.1 million. NVD, your beloved club, do you think there's value there, or you think they're overpriced and you should look elsewhere?
Yeah, overpriced, to be honest. When I was doing my team for the last game week, I was teetering on getting Robertson out because he's 7.2 million, and I just thought, you know what, I don't see a clean sheet against the Hammers. I was right, and I think kind of without Van Dijk's presence, or even to be honest, even when he was here, the way we started the season, just that defensive solidarity isn't there. I think Robbo is still good with the assists, but he never got as many assists as Trent, and Trent's just seems kind of, he's not at the races this season, to be honest. So I personally would look at some alternate teams. I mean, you've got Chelsea who are starting to keep clean sheets now. Zuma, for example, he's kind of returned quite well, to be honest. I mean, he costs 5.2 million, so 2 million less than Robertson, and a little bit more, even more less than Alexander-Arnold. He's got 46 points. He scored 14 points in the last game week. So I mean, he pops up, gets a goal. But the one player that I was just really surprised that I haven't seen, I don't even know if anybody in our poddy league has got him. I just seem to have overlooked him completely. Is Vestergaard? I think he's blanked 2 out of the 7 game weeks thus far, and for one of those games, I think he wasn't a starting player, and he got the 1 point. But he's consistently got 6s and 7s, and obviously that goes in line with the Saints keeping a clean sheet. But he gets in there with the odd goal. He's kind of like the Lundstrom of the Saints, and he's 4.6 million.
He's cheap.
He's cheap. He's got 34 points. He's selected by. He's gone up now. I think kind of
4.2% of teams.
Yeah, it was like 3 something. At the game week. So yeah, I mean, it's just a bit of a weird season thus far. So yeah, I really would. I'd take that value and put it elsewhere, because there's choice forwards. If you think about Calvert-Lewin, Ings, Kane, Wilson. So there's a lot of forwards that you can put money in, as well as packing out the midfield. So yeah, I'd say yes, get them out.
To be honest, I would agree with you. And I moved early in the season and got rid of them, but then I did bring Trent in 2 weeks ago, and he's not really done anything since then. So it's been a pretty bad move. But yeah, I should say like 2. So you're talking about 7.4, 7.1, and compared to most defenders, which are around the 5 mark, right? Maybe 5.5. You're getting 2 million back on each of those players, which I think is, there's definitely this season at least not that differential out there to justify paying the premium prices for those guys. So I think I completely agree with you there. It's just, where do you redeploy that capital and what do you get in? And I think, Saiss has obviously been very popular in recent weeks. And apart from being benched, will he play? Will he keep playing? But Wolves all round, you kind of get some good value in their defenders. The other player that, kind of catches my eye is my beloved Villa. I don't know why they're beloved, but they seem to be my adopted team. Tyrone Mings, he's actually the 3rd best scoring defender. He is selected by 10% of teams, but also at 5.2 million. He got a goal this week, right? And, that's the 2nd of the season. He's had 3 assists, 3 clean sheets already and 1 assist. Do you think that's worth a punt, or you think that's Villa's just likely to concede too many?
I totally agree with you, fanboy. I mean, Mings was on my radar, and I wish I had, seeing the way he played as well, not just the fact that he scored a goal. He's a quality player, definitely worth considering. I'm in the realm of I've still got Trent Arnold in my team. He's 7.4 million. I mean, that's such a huge whack of your team. So I think I've had him in since the beginning of the season. I've stuck with him. I just don't see the quality that I saw last season, and it's not just the fact he's not scoring points. I don't see the quality in him at the moment. I mean, I might be wrong. He might turn it around, but at the moment, not the same player as last season at all. So I'm kind of looking towards definitely Wolves, and even as Mr. Pogba said, getting some sexy time with Leeds. I think potentially, I mean, as I said a couple of weeks ago, Dallas, I did pull him up and suggest that he could be possibly a good defender to have, again, cheap. And he scored today. It's a bit of a lucky goal, but he did score. He's again a quality defender. And I've got no Wolves defenders in my squad at the moment, in my 11s. So I'm definitely looking at some of the defenders in Wolves. Possibly, I don't know about Saiss. He's a great player. I'm kind of edging towards Kilman at the moment, I think. So Trent could be the last week that he's going to be in my starting 11.
Wow. So yeah, and obviously it's important to react quick, right? I think we're going to see this reaction across the board. So you want to get those players out before the price drops, right? So it's important maybe, but hey, who knows? Maybe that will prove to be costly, and maybe there will be value in there. But Paul, what do you think about that answer, mate? You think that answers your question?
Also, sexy time maybe Leeds. I don't know. Leeds, it's a beautiful football. Not so lazy like Samoa. And I like the flow of the team, and I think I do believe the
NVD, you got any idea what he's saying, mate? All right, Paul. Paul, I think he's fallen asleep, but good to have you with us. Thanks for coming on, Mr. Pogba. Your presence has been, it's been a presence, let's say that. And with that, guys, let's get into looking at the first games of the week and see where you see value across the board. The first one, it's on a Friday night, right? So that old, the Friday night game's actually early Friday, so you need to watch and get your team in before. It'll be a 4:30 p.m. deadline UK time, so don't get caught out on that. And remember to hit the save button. But the first game is not by any means a cracker at all, or maybe it will be, but Brighton-Burnley. Anyone lumping on this one?
Well, we'll see if there's any value. We always like to talk about value in a game, and I don't see any value in this. I don't see anything at all. I see a draw, so maybe a defense, but not for me. I'm going to stay clear of that one.
Yeah, agree. I mean, if you have to kind of get anybody in from Brighton, Maupay, Trossard, I think Grohl was got the assist, right, for Lamperty's goal. Lamperty looked pretty decent. We spoke about him, but yeah.
He's actually marked with a muscle injury, 75% chance of playing.
That's true.
Yeah, he soldiered on, didn't he? Like, I thought he was going to come off towards the end of the 90 minutes. Oh, he did, didn't he? I forgot,
Yeah.
Someone who we've not seen pick up points in recent week, in fact, since game week 2 is Ricky's cousin, I think, since he was on the show.
Yeah, he was flagging that he was going to score like 4 or 5 goals the week after. And we didn't see it.
Is this his chance, though, playing sort of Brighton, that, is maybe they need to turn up, right? You can only imagine that these two teams are going to be near the bottom come the end of the season, and they're going to have to raise their game against each other. And you think maybe Chris Wood will show up then?
Maybe. I mean, to be honest, I think Brighton looked a better side with actually having Lallana in the team. He kind of was. I thought he was a really standout player for them against Spurs. Obviously, he's got the experience. He's a quality player. So I don't know. I think Brighton may just nick it. Otherwise, this is going to just be a stalemate. So not a lot of value here.
Not a lot of value indeed. So probably one to not really rush to turn the TV on for, and probably not one to rush to get players in your team. We'll go with that. The next game, though, I don't really know if this one's much better. Captain, I'll let you take this one. But Southampton-Newcastle, what's your thoughts here?
I don't know. I saw the Southampton game this weekend, and it was good. I really enjoyed watching them. They were like a quality side, and from the scoreline, and okay, Ings did score 1, which is great for me because I got him in my FPL squad, but. Shows that Southampton just doesn't rely on one particular player, because like Ward-Prowse, my goodness, what a genius. Like did you see his free kicks?
Yeah, he was immense. He's back-to-back, I think, game weeks. He's just been great in his hold.
Yeah, I mean, like his free, like just perfection. So like basically anyone like who's playing Southampton at the moment, you just don't want to make any mistakes outside the box, because you're almost guaranteed to like lose a goal. That he is like that good. So I'm not sure whether I would get him in my squad though. But at the same time, he's a great player, and potentially he's pretty young as well. Could see him like being a really good player to like invest in like for the future. I mean, Ings, I'm not sure if he's playing or not. For next week because of his knee injury. As we've said already, like it could be just a couple of weeks. Do you keep him? Do you put him in your sub bench? Do you get rid of him for a couple of weeks and bring him back in or not? That's going to be a decision. I think he's like 8.5, so he's not cheap anymore. So there's 8.5 sitting there that could be used for someone else. So. But Newcastle as well. I mean, they got a win this weekend. Callum Wilson, like formidable forward for Bournemouth last season, always like racking in those goals, and he's definitely shown that for Newcastle this season as well. And it was really good to see a bit of linkage from the old Bournemouth pair from last season, Fraser and Wilson, like Fraser with the assist and Wilson with the goal. I mean, Fraser's, I don't think he's been playing for 90 minutes for the past few weeks. So it's, this could be something something to come that we could see in the future, like with Fraser doing what he did for Bournemouth.
What's your prediction here, Captain?
From the quality I saw with Southampton, I think they could nick it. I think it's going to be 2-1.
2-1. The next game of the weekend, the early game on the Saturday. So finally, we get to something which sounds a bit tastier on paper, at least. Everton versus Man United. Everton, they've been solid from a fantasy point of view this year. A lot of opportunity to pick up points, but they've been disappointing the last 2 weeks, right? Ever since, drawing at Liverpool, they've got beaten off Southampton and got beaten off Newcastle. And really, I think the only thing you can put it down to is missing an onslaught of players, right? Richarlison was suspended, Digne was suspended, Rodriguez out with injury, obviously. Rodriguez looks like he could be back this week, and Digne is back. Richarlison's still out for another week. But you think Rodriguez is going to be back? And if so, are you tempted to get him in your team?
Yeah, not sure if he's going to be back. I think that the thing is that, again, I might even just look to the Chelsea midfield, to be honest, because, Ziyech played really well. So there's some good alternatives, and even Havertz, to be honest. So I don't know, until he's kind of properly back, and you don't know how he's going to come back from his injury as well.
You don't think it's worth it?
Yeah, maybe not.
He's still in 31% of teams, so a lot of people still put faith in him, right?
They've got favourable fixtures, that's why though. So if he does kind of come back, it's looking good for Everton for the next couple of game weeks.
And then is it time maybe to you said favourable fixtures, so we'll probably keep with DCL, right? I'm just astounded at that he's in 56% of teams, right? To be in over in half the teams, I suppose his cost of 7.7 million, and his sort of consistency this season, there's only been once that he's blanked. He got 1 point against Southampton last week, but the big man's on fire, right?
He is, yeah. I've got him in my team, and he's returned. So yeah, I think kind of he's always a threat. Even if Everton aren't playing well, you give him a chance, and he seems to kind of he seems to have that ability to convert it. And if you've got the likes of like Digne and Rodriguez coming back, then he's got that outlay, really. And
he's definitely still one of the first names on my team sheet, and I'll be keeping him in. But then turning to United, there's just something in me, and I'm looking at playing my wild card here. There's something that thinks United need to kick up the arse, right? And I think they need to come out all guns firing. And is it maybe time to look for some value in United? Is it time to put your faith back in Fernandes, or is he only good for penalties these days?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I think there will be a reaction. I think there always seems to be. It's kind of like the minute you think Ollie's out the door, and then the players kind of do him a solid, and then stab him in the back the next game. It's that merry-go-round for United, unfortunately. To be honest, I do see them actually winning against Everton, and
I actually see them winning as well. But the only one thing I just don't see is I just don't trust their defense, right? I think they've been pretty leaky over the last couple of weeks. Obviously, they kept a clean sheet last week against Chelsea, but obviously conceding 6 against Spurs is not. So I would stay away from any defenders, and especially Maguire. I just can't trust him. And De Gea, I'm not rushing to there. So maybe only the midfield is where I see value, and it's not going to be our mate Paul, because he's probably still going to be asleep. So either Rashford at 9.6 million, he might be better value than Fernandes at 10.
Yeah,
he's expensive though, Rashford, isn't he? He's not that cheap. He's like, did he say 9.5?
9.6, and consider he's only in the double figures once this year against Newcastle. Is there value there? I don't see it, but for some little thing in me, I'm tempted to put Rashford in there. I see goals in this. I see 2-2. The next game we've got after that tasty one is Crystal Palace Leeds. NVD, what's your thoughts on that?
I'm actually kind of going for Leeds. I think they will bounce back. They lost 4-1 today against Leicester, who look good, but they've still got quality players, and they work hard. They'll stick to their game plan, right? They're not letting the results phase them in the way that they play, the way that they attack, the way Biesler sets up the team. And I am actually kind of looking for them to bounce back. I think kind of you can't, those that have got Bamford, I don't knee jerk. I wouldn't say. I think kind of he's still a threat. He's gonna get on the end of opportunities. So definitely look to him. And Harrison in the midfield, I actually kind of think he plays pretty well, and I think he got the assist today, and he's done all right. Most game weeks, bar he didn't play against City, but he's done okay, to be honest, with the chances that he's got. So yeah, I'm actually going to go 3-1. I don't think kind of Crystal Palace aren't a high scoring team, and if there's anything, it comes through Zaha. I know he didn't really kind of do much this game week, but if there's anything, Zaha's their man really.
And just to reiterate, we mentioned it already, but their fixtures coming up are pretty tasty, right? Leeds, Burnley, Newcastle, West Brom. You think if they're going to do something?
You think, yeah. You think? I mean, yeah. I think. Look, if you've got Zaha, I think yes. Those are decent fixtures, but those are teams that he can score against. Crystal Palace as a whole, will they do it? I mean, they're 12th and 13th respectively, but I still kind of just rate Leeds over them to do a job. So I'm still sticking to 3-1.
I don't think you can trust Crystal Palace. Like, even with a quality player like Zaha, I wouldn't put any money on it.
All right. After that takes us to the next game on Saturday evening is Chelsea Sheffield United. The one that stands out for me here, right? And I completely ignore Chelsea. I'm a bit for whatever reason a bit against them. I don't really see. I just don't really. Every time I watch them, I'm a bit disappointed. I don't think they have enough hunger to get out there. But Zuma, right? His consistency is key, and he got 14 points this week.
Yeah, he's looking good. Yeah, he's actually he's got 46 points in total.
3 goals, 3 clean sheets.
Great
assist.
Great header.
It was a great header, right? The power that he got in there and his little neck, getting it around there. It's, to be honest, and I said I'm using my wildcard, is enough to tempt me to maybe get him in the team.
Would you have two Chelsea then? Would you consider him over Chilwell?
I would consider him over Chilwell, yeah. Just literally for, he's picking up more goals. So, yeah, less assists, but more goals. And then also just the bit of the differential as well. Chilwell was in 23% of teams. Zuma's in 10. They're both, in fact, Zuma's a lot cheaper, 5.2 versus 5.9. I think in all those aspects, he provides more value. Obviously, he has to step up and continue doing that. Otherwise, there's no value. It's just a waste of money. But I can see him in there. So Chelsea, I don't really like the midfield, mate. I don't really see any creativity or enough in there. So that, but as we said, they're pretty solid at the back, and maybe coming up against Sheffield United, who have less goal scoring prowess, I think maybe time to get a Chelsea defender.
There's no consideration getting your wiener out again.
I put my wiener in there once before, and she won't go back.
Fair play.
Sheffield United, on the other hand, I don't even know. By the way, I don't even see any value across the Sheffield United there. I think I had Basham in my team at the start of the year, and the top scoring player for Sheffield United is their goalkeeper Ramsdale at 18 points, and 18 points after 7 games is pretty lousy. And if you've got any of Sheffield United players in your team, I think it's just time to sell. No.
So that many people with Sheffield United players in their team, probably
there's not.
Anyone that's doing well, probably not.
And to be honest, you're completely right. The most owned is 6.8% Brewster up front, right? And he's got a total of 4 points. It's pretty shocking. So let's stay away from Sheffield United and let's give Chelsea all 3 points there. Coming to Saturday evening now, we've got West Ham Fulham, and without Ricky Igoj Pellegrini on to he's celebrating his birthday today, mate.
I know. Happy birthday, Rickster.
Happy birthday.
It's there. So without
him, hey. 40th, isn't it?
His 40th, yeah. 45th, I think. But NVD, I know you've been tracking this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, we were all in the, or a few of us were in the pub watching the Liverpool West Ham game, and had the pleasure of sitting next to Palace. And look, to be fair, at the end of the game, I turned around to him and said, I don't think that West Ham have got anything to worry about this season in terms of a relegation fight. They look solid. I think kind of Moyles, Moylesy is I guess he's turning them he's terraforming them into another Everton, and they just they look solid, right? They're really well set up. I think they are lacking Antonio up front. I think Haller, the hammer, as Pella said, just didn't really do anything. He kind of looked just about as lazy as Pogba, to be honest.
Soft, fluffy hammer.
Pretty much. But they look pretty good, and they look dangerous as well, to be honest, on the counter against Liverpool. Now I know Fulham don't play that way, but they're playing at home, and I can't see anything but a West Ham win. I'm going to go for 2-0 because I actually thought they looked decent at the back. They look well organised. Cresswell, Declan Rice's quality, to be honest. So let's see if they can keep hold of him. In terms of where I see value, I thought Fornell's always been a thorn in Liverpool's side, and lo and behold, he popped up and scored again. Looks pretty decent. He takes the shot, right? He doesn't get scared, doesn't try and do the pass. If he sees that something's on, he'll try and take it. And look, Palace calls him out. And to be fair, I haven't watched a lot of West Ham, but I watched him for 90 minutes, and the lad Jared Bowen, he looks decent, right? And I still don't know why Palace hasn't got him in the team. I guess he doesn't return value, but yeah, I think if there's anything, it's coming. It's coming through like Fornells and Bowen in the absence of Antonio. So yeah, going for West Ham win. So I'm sure Palace will be happy with that. That's your birthday present, Palace. That's it.
There you go. That's as nice as it gets for your Pillars. So West Ham hopefully onwards and upwards for them. Captain Russ, your beloved Spurs, West Brom.
West Brom, yeah, I know. It's got the writing of a big win, hasn't it? Like West Brom and not performing, they could be the new Norwich of this season. And okay, Son didn't come up trumps this week. He didn't even last the 90 minutes. He got a 2, but you can't really ignore that duo. The dynamic duo. They've scored more points than any other. As in regards to assists and goals, and I'm still sticking to my guns. I'm still gonna obviously keep those players in. I'm
going to be controversial here. I'll give you away a bit of a secret, but I mentioned my wild card, and as we've been going through this show, I've just been writing down some ideas, looking some up, and currently I have no Spurs players written down on here, and I'm like, am I just off my mind to overlook any Spurs players? But to be honest, a bit of comfort they're giving me is looking at the fixtures coming up, right? This is their chance for a big win before they kind of hit on the hard fixtures of City, Chelsea and Arsenal all in a row. And is that luck going to run out, or is it just time to bump on?
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, we all know about Spurs' inconsistencies. Saying that, we are second in the Premiership right now. So they're doing pretty well. Obviously, they've had probably like the easiest run out of a lot of teams. So you have to put that into consideration. But I do think that we're gonna get back to our. I don't think necessarily it's going to be a big win, but I do think Son and Kane will be getting on the score sheet this time, and Bale from last weekend. It was good to see him out and finally get on the score sheet as well. Great header. So happy for him, considering with the last time he came on, we were 3-0 up and we ended up drawing 3-3. So that's probably done a lot for his confidence. And I can foresee it being 3-0.
West Brom are a little bit back in that Sheffield United bucket, right? I think there's even less people holding West Brom players. I think their sub-goalkeeper is the cheapest goalkeeper on the game, and he's got the most held by the most team of anyone else in their team. So, again, just stay away there, or any tasty tips you've got?
I think so. I think stay away from West Brom. It's just a waste of time.
So you're saying 4-0 to Spurs, right?
3-0.
3-0, mate. All right, we'll take that. Next game, Leicester Wolves.
Yes, me again. So Leicester, what a turnaround. I mean, they came out like guns a-blazing the first 15, 20 minutes against Leeds. When Leeds got a goal back, it was a big turnaround. But Leicester just they kind of fought really hard. They ended up with a convincing victory. I mean, good to see Maddison come back on and doing this, give Vardy an assist. What my question to you lads is do you think Vardy's going to be having those legendary parties from previous seasons? Could this be a turnaround?
I actually think it's time to get him in your team. That would be my tip. I think this time last year, I kind of reacted early and got him in just as he started hitting form, and that kind of propelled me up the league. And hey, he's back and he's showing it again, and you don't want to be left out. Wait till Christmas, and might be too late. Obviously, it's expensive, but to be honest with you, there's not really any other strikers worth spending money on at the moment. So if you are going to spend money, 10 million, I think you could do a lot worse than getting Vardy in your team.
Exactly, I think so.
Yeah.
And it's Vardy's party, and I cry if I want to. You're not good. If you don't have him in, it could be you that's sitting on the sideline, weeping away in your Kleenex. But against Wolves have been a solid team. But as we've said in the past, they're not high scoring team, even though they did. They put a couple away last week, but. Jimenez has shown his quality. You can see that he can score from, given the chance, he can nick a goal anywhere. But I don't know. For Wolves, for me, I would definitely kind of invest in the defense. Jimenez, I did have. He's consistent, but he's quite expensive as well. So I think seeing the quality of Leicester this week, I think my money's on Leicester. I think they're going to do it. I think, as you said, Vardy's back on form again, and when Vardy's on form, you can't really avoid him. You need to get him in your team. So I reckon it's going to be I think it's going to be 2-0. I think 2-0 to Leicester.
2-0 Leicester, and the Wolves will not be prowling, will they? Then if it's 2-0 Leicester, but yeah, I think it's a tasty game. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. Not probably as interesting though as probably the game of the week, Man City Liverpool, right? It's only comes around twice a season, and it's always going to be tasty, and eyes on who's going to decide that. And it's interesting, right? City, from a fantasy football point of view this season, it's just so hard to rely on them or spend money on their players and look to pick up points. Is there value in City's players? Is De Bruyne going to hit the running again? Now he's back. Is Sterling? He's only got 32 points this season, which isn't a lot for 11.6 million. They're in a surprisingly low number of teams, 16 and 7% respectively. It's so low when you compare them to the Tottenhams and Liverpool, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's true. It's an interesting one because I think kind of both sides' defence haven't been brilliant. There's an argument that actually kind of City's fullbacks have been performing a little bit better than Liverpool's. But, I actually think there's going to be goals in this game. I think it's just going to be really all out. I think both teams are aware of each other's defensive frailties and inconsistencies since the start of the season. And I think, there's definite value in Sterling and De Bruyne from City's perspective. De Bruyne, I have a feeling about De Bruyne for this game. I still think Liverpool will win it, but I think De Bruyne is going to be come back to be that architect and get points this game.
Are you going to captain Salah again this week? Do you reckon?
Maybe. I think it's close between him and Kane. If I'm perfectly honest, I find it difficult to look past Kane most game weeks, really. But it's going to be close between those two. I think kind of Salah's got he's in good form, so it'd be difficult to kind of look past him for goals.
Is Phil Foden going to keep playing for City?
Did he play he didn't play for the full 90 minutes last week, did he?
No, he only came on for 10.
See, I was thinking of getting him in, but it's just not. It's just like the switch around. It's just not worth it. He's just not bad price, but how often is he going to play?
All right, mate, we'll stay away from him then. Liverpool, though, I'm kind of tempted to go Mane over Salah.
Really? Why?
Again, a big point is, and I like to be different, right? I think the value is always in the differential out there, but I think Salah the last couple of weeks, he's just not been doing it, right? Oh yeah, he scored a good penalty and got it there, but I think maybe I'm just bitter. Last week I set him as my captain and he got 2 points. This week I didn't set him and he got 8 when he would have done better than Son. So maybe I'm just getting a bit bitter, but I see Manny hungry. He's constantly about at the moment, constantly around the box, and I see him putting himself in better positions.
I mean, the theme is that Salah at home and Mane away, so that could ring true. To be honest, at the Etihad, let's see kind of how much he exploits I guess the only other player, he doesn't really get the full 90, but he scored 3 and 3, to be honest, in the league, is Jota.
Yeah.
He's looking a good sign. And I mean, I think you probably still need maybe a game week or two to see if that's just kind of a good start. But, that could be one to kind of just keep your eye on in the future game weeks.
It's 6.3 million. It's a very tasty, cheap option for a Liverpool midfielder, right?
Definitely.
There, and we said we're staying away from Liverpool defenders at the moment. So watch them going to get clean sheets for the next 5 weeks. That's what we'll see.
Who do you think's going to win between Man City and Liverpool?
I see a draw, to be honest, mate.
A score draw?
Yeah, I'll be optimistic and say 2-2 again for the neutral. Classic score that we love as a neutral, right? How about you?
Are we likely to see Mane in your new wildcard team then, rather than Salah? Are you going to put your money where your mouth is?
You are likely to see that.
You put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly.
Money. Put your money where your mouth is. That's it. It could be a title for this game week. NVD. That could be it. So yeah, and what's your predictions on this one?
I'm going 3-2.
3-2 and captain?
Yeah, I reckon. I think Liverpool will nick it, but I think it'd be a really boring game. I think it's gonna be like 1-0.
1-0 Liverpool. All right, that's your had, and that brings us into the last game of the game week. Game week 8. It ends, and we actually had a question come in about this game, and it's Arsenal v Aston Villa. And MVD, before I pass it over to you, I don't know why you, but before I pass it over to you, the question we had come in to answer is someone, actually Joe Wilson, who is second in our joint league at the moment. He said he drunkenly activated his free hit for this week. So for listeners not familiar with free hit, your free hit chip you can use it once per season. That chip means that for one game week, you can make as many transfers as you want, obviously sticking within the budget. But after that game week is over, your team will revert to how it was beforehand. So it's kind of 1 week where you think there's a value in one big team possibly, and you load up on their players and get that in there. And he's tempted to load up on Arsenal. Do you think that's wise, or
can I before MVD puts in?
Of course you can, mate.
Happens if it's only for 1 week, you just got to look at the weaker teams, haven't you? You got to look at West Brom. So therefore, I would get rather than loading up with the Arsenal, I'd probably load up with Spurs.
So don't load up your arse, all right, mate?
Exactly. And don't trust any team with the word arse in its name. I mean, come on. Makes perfect sense.
There's no North London rivalry there, of course not. I think you're right there, Captain. I really do. I mean, Arsenal scored 9, conceded 7, playing Villa. I mean, Villa really kind of courageously fought back against Southampton, and clearly they've been seen to score goals. So no, I mean, I definitely won't put my value in any of the Arsenal defence, for example. I know that they've kept a few clean sheets, but no, not really. I don't see any value, to be honest. If anything, actually, I'd put I was going to kind of, shift him out of my team, but I'd probably stick with Grealish, kind of get him in. And we've talked about, Tyrone Mings already in terms of kind of the defence. So, no, I think...
but Aubameyang finally breaking his goal drought.
Yeah, he's just not doing enough, though, this season. He's been really off. So, yeah.
Penalty, it doesn't really say much.
Yeah, exactly. I think, as Captain said, much value elsewhere, to be honest. So, yeah, no, don't go Arsenal.
I agree with you. Villa's been on playing well this week, but the fixtures are a bit favourable. Arsenal, they've got Villa, Leeds, Wolves coming up before then going to Spurs. So, they'll be hoping to cement a couple of victories. It's going to be close though, and I actually see it being 2-1 to Arsenal this week.
Who would you invest in then?
Aubameyang, but Aubameyang's going to score, I think, but I don't know if he's worth the money. But I do think Bellerin, he looks good. He's pretty solid. Arsenal should keep it tight over the next couple of weeks. So maybe there's some value in there for some clean sheets and attacking power.
We look forward to seeing some Arsenal players in your team.
Yeah, this is going to be a team better. You should see the list I have in front of me. Actually, it's going to be hit or miss. We're going to see how it goes. Unless I bottle it before Friday, that'll be it. But guys, that's all the games we made it through. Just the three of us, without Jimmy's rambling. So we got through all those, and it brings us to one of the most important parts about your team selection, and something I've struggled on the last 2 weeks. But your captain contenders.
Captain contenders.
Wow, what an introduction, Captain Russ. Who's your pick for this week?
If I had to choose one, I have to be Beavis.
Beavis, you're going to stick with Kane?
Yeah.
Who actually got dissed. And I think there's some newscasters on ESPN that got in trouble because they were, not professional like us, and they were mocking the way Harry Kane speaks, and so they publicly apologised. We obviously don't do things like this on this show, but yeah.
Oh, naughty.
That's shocking. That is
terrible.
NVD, what about you?
Yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one this week, but
it's difficult, right? It's very difficult. It's opportunities. Stay away from City. Stay away from Liverpool.
I'm actually my gut when I looked at the fixtures was focused on Chelsea, and I think Wiener will do the business. Now he's got it out and it's flapping in the wind. I think it's going to continue to stay there.
The thing is, though, he wasn't in the starting 11. Do you know what I mean?
Wasn't.
It was only because of the injury he came on. So, I mean, what was that all about?
Yeah, true. But I think, with the way Pulisic was playing, maybe he just thought it kind of, it load up the midfield. But Abraham's not playing badly, to be honest. I mean, we overlooked him. He got, I think, did he get an assist, I think, at the least. So he's not looking bad. But, maybe he's thinking, maybe it'll be a good partnership that'll brew there, especially with Pulisic out now.
For me, Captain Russ, you're right. Spurs are pretty tempting, They should score a few goals, but for some reason, I want to back Vardy. I just, for him to come back and be doing so well, and he's clearly on his confidence. It's up, and he struggled last season when he kind of started losing that confidence. But now at the moment, that's clearly no trouble for him at all. And it's not the easiest game in the world at Wolves. They've been solid at the back, but I can see him getting 2 goals, and he might make my captain pick. So, bit of differential, Jamie Vardy out there.
I can see him listening right now to this podcast and
he's drunk, mate,
blowing up those balloons.
There you go.
Too much WKD in his system. He won't know what we're saying. He won't know. But guys, that's our look ahead to the next week and the captains. But we didn't mention as well the intern.
Reese's Pieces, James Reese's Pieces. There you go.
He's been giving it big lips. Obviously, he's been posting the Gameweek review on our blog, including his one to watch for each game. And to be fair to the lad, he's done pretty well in terms of predicting the correct results.
There you go.
He
did. I mean, go along to the website, right?
Yeah, so that piece will be published on Thursday, late Thursday, I believe. And if you want to read that, the website is leftbackfpl.com. That's leftbackfpl.com. You can see a nice little mugshot of NVD. So if anything, you might want to go on there and look at your hero on there. But that we'll also post that on our Twitter, which is at leftbackfpl, and feel free to get in touch with us there if there's anything you want us to touch on the show next week or right about there. Captain Russ, any closing remarks for us?
Yeah, don't touch anybody.
Don't touch anyone, guys. You heard that here first. But next time you speak to us, we might have a new president here in the US. That's obviously the big news coming on this week. Should we get into predictions for that, or is that worth staying away from?
President predictions.
Yeah, well, we don't like to get political, so we'll stay away from that. Well, guys, thanks for joining us. Thanks for having you with us. The reduced cast of Captain Russ, NVD, and myself, John Mcginn Fanboy. Have a good one.
Way.
Way.